Try. What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of the Take 3 podcast. We're here on a Tuesday evening to recap week 12. It was a big week, obviously, for us as Eagles fans. The defense wasn't great, but boy, did the offense. Jalen Hurts really showed up Sunday night. Aaron Rodgers didn't, man. Dipped with the rib injury, threw 2 picks, took off early. Typical Aaron Rodgers behavior, but man, I was impressed with Jalen Hurts. I was impressed with Miles Sanders as well. I was so happy to see him finally get that bell cow role and really get the touches that I've been waiting for him to get for years now. Josh Jacobs did his thing as well. He went crazy, like 230 yards on the ground. He had another like 75 through the air. It was like 300 total yards. They win an OT, shocked the Seahawks a little bit. What else went on? The Chargers let us down. I mean, they win by 1 point, but I mean, you're facing Kyler Murray, who's been playing Call of Duty for 2 weeks, hasn't really been focused up on football, and you only beat them by 1. Broncos, embarrassing. Sam Darnold comes back, actually looks decent. I mean, I'm not going to buy into the Darnold stuff. I know everybody's going to jump in and buy on Darnold, but I mean, we saw this last year, 3 weeks in, beating bad football teams. He beats another bad team. Kudos to him. He's probably a little bit better than Baker, but I'm not buying any of the stock. What else? Thanksgiving games, Bills barely beat the Lions. They arguably could have lost, right? Some crazy stuff going on there. We got fumbles, guys picking up fumbles, running in for touchdowns. That was wild. Giants backdoor cover. Vikings get back on track. So yeah, what do you make of week 12 as it concluded last night on Monday Night Football with Jeff Saturday not calling timeouts? I mean, the Jeff Saturday show, it unraveled pretty quick, right? The one quick win, and now it's kind of we see the Jeff Saturday show, the high school show there in Indianapolis.
Yeah, Jeff Saturday doesn't even have a winning coaching record as a high school coach. I'm not on the Jeff Saturday train. I don't think he should be an NFL coach, but week 12 was fun, man. The Eagles get back on track. They win again, 10-1, all through the ground. Basically, that was fun. I mean, the Niners stifled the Saints. That looked good. Chiefs barely covered the spread, but we'll take it. The Raiders get an overtime win. Like, it was a fun weekend. I mean, I was upset the Chargers didn't cover, but like, I honestly love whenever games come down to 2-point conversions. They went on a 2-point conversion. With that being said, shout out Jacksonville coming back, beating the Ravens, winning on a 2-point conversion. Like, I'm always here for that. I think that takes a lot of guts coaching wise. And just like, I'm a big believer in like data and analytics, and we love to harp on teams when they go for it and they don't get it. But no, we never talk about when they actually do get it. We saw it happen twice this weekend. So like that was always fun to see. And like, I'm always here for it. Go for 2 to win the game.
I was gonna say, we know one fan base that doesn't like 2-point conversions. It's definitely the Ravens. Another tough one. We'll get into that. But I mean, yeah, they drop another one at the end. Let's jump into it. We had big Sunday night, if it lets me flip over. Yeah, the offense was pretty impressive, right? I mean, the defense, I wasn't very impressed. Aaron Rodgers kind of threw 2 touchdowns. Jordan Love came in, and I was like, okay, this is where we really beat them down, right? Jordan Love's not going to look good. He actually spun the rock pretty well. I was actually impressed with Jordan Love. I couldn't tell if our defense sucked that bad, like the play calling sucked, or if he was actually throwing a crisp ball. I liked what I saw to Jordan Love. It was limited snaps, obviously, kind of a mop-up role, but I liked the throws. But the Eagles offense, I mean, as you said, Jalen Hurts did a little bit of passing, a little bit of running. He really impressed me, kind of knew when to dig deep. Miles Sanders as well. But it's really all about Jalen Hurts. I'd say kind of he continues to take that next leap when you really need him to keep putting up points. The defense really didn't give you much that night. He found ways. He's smart. He knows when to, throw the ball. He knows when to get down and slide. I was impressed late in the game, I want to say, was like one of our last drives where he slid, and you'd see a lot of quarterbacks let the D tackle just smash you in the back and break your back. And he was smart enough to slide and like do this turn thing to where the D tackle wouldn't jump. I was impressed. Offensive wise. Defense sure as hell needs to clean some things up. Jonathan Gannon definitely needs to figure that up. But yeah, Eagles improved to 10-1. And were you impressed with Jordan Love? Do you think the Packers should roll with Jordan Love the rest of the year? Like, I really think they should. I know there's a lot of money invested into Aaron Rodgers, but I mean, you're not going anywhere this year with Aaron Rodgers. And I mean, you got to at some point have a quarterback for the future, right? You don't kind of want to be in limbo like the Steelers are. And I liked what I saw to Jordan Love in limited snaps Sunday night.
Yeah, so to address the Eagles, I think you pretty much nailed it. I'm just going to add that like AJ Brown needs to be better. Like, he bounced back from the fumble, so within the game, caught a touchdown after that. You love to see it, but we need to be more consistent through the air. AJ Brown has to lead that path. Like, I'm not like AJ Brown's had a great year. I love him as a talent. I love having him as an Eagle, but he does he needs to be more consistent, a little bit better there. But like to the Jordan Love and the Packers, like I think if you're the Packers, like you don't care about if Aaron Rodgers cares if he's going to be mad about being benched. You play Jordan Love. Like how many times do you get a perfect scenario like this to evaluate your future quarterback, right? You paid Aaron Rodgers all that money. And if he's upset about being benched the rest of the year, well, you just say, go and cash your checks and enjoy the rest of your year, right? Like I think it'd be really dumb for the Green Bay front office to not utilize this. They're out of playoff position. You have a perfect opportunity to see if you want to roll with Aaron Rodgers next year, or and you can see if Jordan Love's like the real deal or not. I thought he looked pretty good in cleanup time. I mean, granted, there was one massive play to Christian Watson. Watson looks legitimate. He looks fantastic now. He's coming on the last few weeks. But because that was such a big play, I'm kind of the numbers are a little skewed for me with Jordan Love. But like it's a perfect opportunity to play him. I think he has to play the rest of the year. Like the Packers are 4-8, they're not going to make the playoffs. What's the point of rolling out old Aaron Rodgers? Maybe he squeaks out a few more wins. That doesn't help you draft position wise. And if anything, if you play Jordan Love, if he's not good, you need to pivot. And if he's real good, well then that's another tough conversation. But maybe you move off Aaron. I think teams would trade for him since, like, yeah, he has a massive contract, but it's short lived. Like, I believe after next year, you don't have to hold on to him. And like, and that's if Aaron doesn't want to retire, because who knows what Aaron Rodgers wants. But like, I think this is a perfect opportunity for the Green Bay Packers to evaluate Jordan Love. And honestly, I think it would be foolish if they chose not to.
Facts, yeah, I'm rocking Jordan Love as well. It's tough. I mean, people will go back to last year when he kind of rolled into Kansas City and he looked like dog shit. But I mean, it's like it's hard to trot into that type of environment and expect immediate success, right? About with the amount of reps. I liked what I saw, and yeah, I mean, Aaron Rodgers did say he came out, I think, on Pat McAfee's show and said, "I'm starting next week. I'll be good to go." Who knows? I'm so over Aaron Rodgers. They kept showing him all Sunday Night Football with the rib thing, and I'm just like, dude, either get out of the game. If you're staying in the game, you're good. But I mean, they're really buying into the Winston and shit. And it's like, I don't know, man. Like you're old, you like doing drugs all the time. You're probably an alcoholic. You're done, Aaron Rodgers. Like it's been a good run, buddy. But I don't think anybody needs you to stick around, right? So I'd like to see Jordan Love. I don't think people are going to be lining up at the door begging Aaron Rodgers to stick around. So I mean, if I was the Packers coach, if I was LaFleur and I was the front office, I'd see what you got in Jordan Love. I liked what I saw. As I said, I couldn't tell. Maybe it was just our defense sucked that bad, or Christian Watson was just that fast. He's pretty fucking fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked what I saw from Jordan Love. Didn't expect him to come off the bench, and just he had some zip on the passes. I was impressed. Let's keep it moving though. The entire NFC is just to stick in the NFC East for just another couple of minutes, man. I mean, it's been one hell of a year, but I mean, if you look at the NFC playoff picture right now, the Eagles obviously the 1 seed, and then the 3 wild card spots are taken up by the other NFC East teams. Obviously, that could change this week, or with teams playing each other, with Washington and the Giants going week 13. But I mean, what a year for this division, right? I mean, if the season ends today, every team in this division, a division that was laughed at as far as what last year or 2 years ago, it could potentially have 4 playoff teams in the NFC playoff picture. What do you make of that? Is this the clear cut best division in football now?
I The answer on paper is yes, but the AFC East has been fantastic as well this year. Both East divisions, but what a ridiculous stat. Granted, it's probably going to change. We won't get all 3 wild card spots, but I mean, we're 12 weeks through the year, and that's the standings right now. I don't think anyone could have predicted that. If there was Vegas odds on it before the year, it'd be very, very high. But like, I'm impressed with all these teams. Dallas and Philadelphia are clearly true contenders. Washington, I think Washington's going to pass New York, and I think the Giants find themselves in last place where they probably should have been the whole year. But like, credit to the Giants for having a good year. It's just a ridiculous feat that all 4 of these teams are that good.
For sure. I don't know. I mean, I could argue we are the best. I think the top 2 in the NFCs, you can make a case, right? What division has a top 2 that's that good, right? I mean, at one point it was the AFC West with the Chargers and the Chargers Chiefs. I mean, you could make an argument, yeah, Dolphins, Bills that are out there, but the Bills, I don't know, they've looked a little shaky lately. You know what I'm saying? Well, they had a little tough run on Thanksgiving. Obviously, the Josh Allen elbow thing, and now you couple in the Von Miller knee injury. It's like, I mean, the Bills have looked shaky the past couple of weeks. So you could argue the 1-2 punch at the top of the NFC East is the best in football right now, at least.
I would agree with that.
For sure. Let's keep it going. Obviously, Zach Wilson got benched by Robert Saleh. I think he was completely inactive last week. The team showed up though. I mean, obviously, granted, it was against Trevor Siemian or was it Nathan Peterman? It was against a Bears team without Justin Fields. I look like a dick because I took the Bears plus 4.5, assumed that Justin Fields would roar it up and be willing to go. Obviously, he didn't. 31-10 loss, but Mike White, 3 touchdowns, over 300 yards. It seemed like the team actually showed up and wanted to play for him. I mean, what do you make of the Jets coming out, winning the game, looking good, Mike White looking good, and the Jets, what do you do with Zach Wilson? I mean, I mean, you bench Zach Wilson, it's basically saying midseason, you're probably done here, right? I don't know. Robert Saleh tried to play it down and say, he's not done. He's going to come back. He's not off of this team. Like, get the hell out of here, dude. Like, you don't bench a guy midseason with a 7-4 team in the middle of a playoff run to trot him back out. I mean, he looks like shit, so I can't blame him. And Mike White looked good. It seemed like the team really rallied behind him, right? I mean, there was a quote I saw on Twitter during the week that like, there's something about Zach Wilson. Yeah, I mean, the press conference after saying he didn't let the defense down and he didn't look bad. There's just something that his cockiness, I don't know what it is. He rubs people the wrong way, and guys aren't going to show up on a Sunday and want to play for a guy like that. And you look at a dude like Mike White, the team showed up clearly and wanted to play with him at quarterback. But yeah, what do you make of him? And what do you make? What did the Jets do with Zach Wilson? Can they salvage any trade to I don't know, maybe the Panthers?
I'd say they should salvage just some draft capital. That man's off the roster, dude. He's got to get out of that franchise. And like, to the point you're making, like they rallied for Mike White. I think you're spot on with that. Cause like I saw on some national news coverage, someone made a really good point that they were celebrating like right in Zach Wilson's face, like on the sideline. Like, there's plenty of guys that are in the league that, they show up, they work their ass off, and they're just not good enough, right? There's other guys that are better, but like those dudes that, are showing up on time, they're working hard. Like, you root for those guys' success. They might not be able to get there, but like you root for them, as in like, if this was a scenario with someone that they like, let's say Zach Wilson was showing up, working hard, being a great teammate and leader, but he just couldn't get it done and he got benched, right? Let's say that's the scenario. I don't think they'd be happy and celebrating, but I think they'd be a little cautious to like, maybe wouldn't like right in this guy's face and kind of spare his feelings a little bit because we like him. They didn't feel like that at all about Zach Wilson. They didn't give a shit how he felt. They were just happy that it seemed like the whole team was just happy that Zach Wilson was not out there. The offense was humming. And like, I don't see Zach Wilson playing another game for the New York Jets. I just like, maybe that's too bold of a statement, but I don't think it is. I think he's out of this franchise. If they're smart, just like cut bait now and just, okay, we got the quarterback wrong. Let's see what Mike White does the rest of the year. And then let's see what the options are after that, because this New York Jets team, they got legitimate weapons on offense. Breece Hall was phenomenal before the injury. Hopefully he comes back and can return to form. But this New York Jets defense is one of the best in the league. Like, I'm all over this Jets defense right now. Sauce Gardner is legitimate. Hopefully he has a long, healthy career. And it's like, yeah, I mean, if you're the Jets, you just play out Mike White and see how he does the rest of the year. Obviously, he had a good Bengals win last year when he got some playing time. He had a great win against the Bears today. Let's see if Mike White can keep it up, or he'll, have some bad games in there, because I don't think we really know what Mike White is. I don't think anyone expects Mike White to lead them and like be a star, but let's see if he's a serviceable quarterback. So like, yeah, I think that's what the Jets do. Zach Wilson, I don't think he's playing another down for the New York Jets, and if he does, I think it would be foolish of the Jets.
Yeah, he's done. I don't, as I said, I don't care what Robert Saleh says. He's done. Yeah, I mean, Mike White, 22-28, 315, 3 touchdowns, no picks. It's funny when Zach Wilson gets benched, Elijah Moore finds his way into the end zone, 2 catches, 64 and a touchdown. He's been pitching all year about targets. I just want some targets. The trade request, obviously, a few weeks back, and then he finds his way to the end zone. So, yeah, I mean, I think the guys are out on Zach Wilson. I like what they have on defense. I like the weapons that they have out there. They're just missing a quarterback, and I don't think Mike White's really the long-term guy. He gives me Taylor Heineke vibes, where he'll get in there. He's a scrappy guy. Dudes will want to play for him. He'll be able to claw his way to some wins. But yeah, I mean, I think they just got to admit, hey, we messed up. We shouldn't have picked Zach Wilson, because I don't think that guy shows up and tries at all. He's a bum, and it is what it is. I mean, at least they can ride it out. I think they still have a decent shot to make the playoffs this year with Mike White. They can just ride the hot streak, ride the defense, the weapons outside, and just go play ball, right? These guys, they seem motivated to play for Mike White. So I would mail it in. Zach Wilson does not play another snap for the Jets. Where does he go next is the real question.
And the best part about Mike White is he unlocked Garrett Wilson again. We saw Garrett Wilson have a great start when Joe Flacco got some playing time, and then you thought that pick up, and then it kind of fell off. And all of a sudden, it's not Zach Wilson throwing the ball. Garrett Wilson got 2 touchdowns, I think 80 yards or something like that. And like all of a sudden, he's been unlocked. And like it's just exciting to see because like we hate seeing these guys handicapped by like their quarterbacks. So all of a sudden, they're great fantasy options. They're great real football options. So like it's fun for the Jets for once.
Yep. Zach Wilson ain't unlocking anybody. Let's keep it moving. Ravens, once again, they feel like a team. They're sitting 7-4. I swear they could be like 10-1 if they could just win close games, not choke games, not piss games away. Like they could be the 1 seed in the AFC right now, but they find a way to do it again, right? They're up 27, 22 minutes to go, and Doug Peterson and Trevor Lawrence dial up a drive of a lifetime, steal the game, go for 2, and then Justin Tucker tries a miracle field goal. Luckily, it's outdoors. It's not at that bullshit Ford Field where it's indoors on turf. And the dude gets a lucky ass upright bounce that you'll probably never see again. So yeah, the Jags come back 28-27, shock the Ravens. The Ravens, they're tough to take serious. And I'd say a huge kind of like a culture boost for the Jags, right? It's one of those that kind of gives you a boost in a locker room when you lead a drive down the field, and kind of gives you a glimpse into the future. Like, hey, Trevor Lawrence really is that guy, and it gets guys to buy in when you make a comeback like that and steal one over a playoff team. But yeah, the Ravens, it's just crazy. They could be 10-1, 11-0 if they could just close games out, right?
Yeah, for the Jags and Doug Peterson, this was a great win, right? Something they can build off of, which I think they personally really need because they had a good stretch at the start of the year and then kind of fell off and just feels like they're still finding themselves. I like what I want to see now from Trevor Lawrence and the Jags is back-to-back really good weeks. Like I want to see him build off of it and like continue to grow. Obviously, this was a great game for them, a great building moment. So like shout out the Jags. It's like that's really cool to see because I'm still not convinced Trevor Lawrence is what his pre-draft hype is because like he hasn't performed to that level. Now, to be fair, rookie year is not a real rookie year. I'm considering this is rookie year. Urban Meyer was terrible. So like to me, plenty of time to grow. We'll see what he does next year with the full offseason with Doug, and they can build off more. So like this is a great building moment for the Jags. So good job on them. And then like for the Ravens, like I can't buy any stock for Baltimore. Like they'll make the playoffs. They'll probably have a playoff lead at some point. It's hard to buy, dude. They can't win any close games. How do you feel confident picking them? Because all the playoff games are going to be close. I just feel for Lamar because it's like the contract year and all the contract talks. Because like I don't think this should affect his contract. That man deserves to get paid. And like what would Baltimore even be if Lamar Jackson wasn't there? Like they're having these bad losses and there's moments where he's throwing picks this year and he hasn't looked good. But like, I mean, and I just think Baltimore would be so bad without him. So like they clearly have things that need to get together. I put a lot of it on Harborough as well, like the coaching staff. Like you can't be giving up that many double digit leads in the NFL. And then Lamar has to be better in crunch time. But like it's pretty concerning for the Ravens. I don't think anyone can buy any Ravens stock and take them as a serious contender. I think we all expect them to win the division or be the wild card team. But I mean, I have no real stock in the Ravens. I don't think they could go in and beat a Buffalo in Buffalo or a Kansas City in Kansas City at this point.
Nah, hell no. I don't even think they'll be in that league. I feel like they feel like a wild card loss. I don't know. There's just a weird vibe around the Ravens ever since they didn't get the Lamar Jackson deal done in the offseason. They kind of let it linger, and it's still lingering even into the season. And yeah, I mean, I don't think it hurts Lamar's stock, right? He's going to have plenty of suitors. If the Ravens want to move on, shit, the Jets will probably be calling. There's plenty of teams that'll be out there, right, with enough capital to say, we bring on Lamar Jackson. We'll give him X amount of dollars. I mean, the guy's on pace to have over 1,000 rushing yards, sitting at 755 right now. And then he's on pace to have 3,500 passing yards. I mean, he's kind of doing what he can. I don't know. They're just a weird team. The weapons really aren't there out wide. It's kind of the Lamar show. They can't close games. And I don't know. Yeah, they kind of let the contract thing linger. And I think you're kind of seeing it as a result each week. It's kind of building up. You keep hearing the stuff about the Lamar contract, him tweeting. It's getting dicey. They feel like a wild card weekend loss to me. Disappointing season in Baltimore for sure.
It feels like from the Ravens perspective that they don't realize like what they have with Lamar. Like I'm sure they do, but they don't want to pay him what he's worth. And like if he does leave, they're going to realize how bad of a football team this is. The defense giving up points. There's no real weapons. You plug in someone other than Lamar and not another superstar. Like I don't think the Ravens are very good. And honestly, I kind of hope Baltimore messes it up and he leaves, because I love the idea of Lamar going to the AFC East, whether it's the Jets or the Patriots. That might be very unrealistic, but I just think you plug him in on either of those teams, they would be damn good.
Yeah, it becomes interesting. We'll see as it goes on, especially if they get bounced early in the playoffs. Then it's when everything's really gonna pick up. And then I mean, you hit the nail on the head with the Jags. Let's see what they can do next week, right? Keep multiple weeks of good football. We saw it earlier in the year, and then we saw them kind of dip back into what we expected out of the Jags. And yeah, I don't know. I think for Trevor Lawrence, it's kind of unfair to get compared and kind of brought up as a Peyton Manning and like these guys,
Yeah.
best quarterback prospect ever coming out of college. It's like it's tough for anybody really to live up to that level of a hype, and I think you're kind of seeing it. But I do think he is still a very good quarterback. We saw this week, right? What he could do: 3 touchdowns, no picks, clean football. But yeah, let's see if the Jags can do it. Doug Peterson's building a program. I mean, I still thought even out of the gate with the hot stretch, I was like, they're still like a year away, right? Get another draft class and get another free agency if they even have any money to spend. Get some more talent in there, and then kind of move into next year and look to chip away, get a wild card slot, even win that division, right? We don't know. The AFC South's such a weird division anyway that it's like it doesn't take much talent when you're battling the Matt Ryans, Ryan Tannehills, Derrick Henrys, right? It's like it's kind of open. So I mean, we'll see what Doug Peterson's building. I kind of like big cultural win for that team in Jacksonville, I'd say. Shit. Moving on, that's kind of it on the docket as far as big things. I mean, Thanksgiving games, you really literally hit the nail on the head with the Cowboys thing, the Giants backdoor cover. That was some elite work on that. You said, I think the Giants will find a way to backdoor cover, and then they literally do it. Vikings did their job. Lions, we were both, I mean, you got off to a hot start, I'd say, then kind of midday, Sunday, everything got back to kind of where it's been all year. And then yeah, I don't know. I had a good week though. 9-6, you said it was. I think I'm just over 500 now. It's a good thing. Any games that kind of upset you? Obviously, the Bears one was a complete fucking whiff by me. That was literally like a slap in the face. And then I guess me having any faith in the Bucks too is bad. I don't. The fact that that team's gonna get a playoff game is just disgusting. Like I don't know. They suck, but they're gonna win that division. Unfortunately, like it's gonna be 8-9 year, and they're gonna be division champs, and Tom Brady's gonna be in the playoffs, and then you're gonna have to hear it for like a week leading in the wild card weekend that, oh shit, Tom Brady's in the playoffs. It's a 0-0 record. Like you don't want to face Tom. And I'm like, I don't know. Like they don't scare me this year. The Bucks, they're bad.
And to the Bucks point, you're right. And I wouldn't even be surprised if they win that damn home wild card playoff game. Like they won't go far after that, but like it wouldn't even surprise me. Looking at the spreads, yeah, the Bears, I mean, Justin Fields, whatever. But like the ones, speaking of the Giants backdoor covering, I really thought the Falcons would backdoor cover. That was a little disappointing. And then the Saints, I thought they would too. All they had to do was score 1 touchdown. Alvin Kamara fumbled on like the 2 or 3 yard line. That's all they needed, 1 touchdown to cover the spread. And like shout out the Niners defense. They were phenomenal, but like the Saints are just a mess. Like they're not very good. But like those are the two. I thought the Falcons and the Saints were going to get it done.
No comment for Broncos country. Russell Wilson getting screamed at by his own teammates. I don't know how Nathaniel Hackett's still employed. It is insane that he still has a job. Like
I'm a fucking fool for doing anything Broncos related 12 weeks in. Like I thought I mean, it was the Panthers. So it's like, but like looking back, that was still foolish. Like the Broncos are just atrocious. They should just, I don't know if it's them or the Texans as the worst team. And like, I don't even know who Houston's quarterback is now. They benched Davis Mills. So like, that's saying a lot.
yeah, Kyle Allen. That was a smile when I saw they switched to him and Dolphins -13. I was like, you can lock that shit in. But yeah, I mean, the Broncos, they are atrocious. I saw something on Twitter the other day that was like if they could cut Russell Wilson as I think it's a post June 1st cut going into next year and only be hit with like a $30-something million cap penalty. Like I don't know, like he's just not it. Like I think it's the combination of both of them. Like I don't think Russ has it anymore. The more I continue to watch.
Yeah, it's kind of sad to see because, like, I know a lot of people think Russ is corny and they kind of shit on him, but like before this year, I liked Russell Wilson a lot. I thought Seattle was wrong. Like, I was rooting for Russ. So, like, it's one thing for them not to win games, but like this has just been such a shit show. Like week 1 to week 12, start to finish, it's been kind of sad to watch if you like Russell.
For sure. Yeah. I mean, he had a good run, right? It was a good run. It's
Yeah,
crazy.
great
Crazy.
decade, honestly.
For sure. What it could have been, man, if they just hand off to Marshawn Lynch and
Yeah.
don't throw an interception at the goal line, right? But yeah, any closing thoughts? Wrap this thing up and get out of here. Close off week 12.
Eagles 10-1, a little bit closer to securing home field, having the road to the Super Bowl in the NFC go through the link. So just rooting for that, you know.
For sure, for sure. Well, that's going to wrap it up for the week 12 recap. Thank you for listening. Please like, subscribe, and comment if you have any feedback. Drop it below in the comments or add us on Twitter at Take3Sports. As always, Spotify link will be in the description, and we will be back again to get into week 13, a pretty stacked week 13 slate. So that should be exciting to dive into.